Let's make a portfolio using Adobe Portfolio. A portfolio is obviously going to be a gallery of work rather than a splash page, so let's click in there. We'll be presented with a bunch of themes that we can use, and you guys will make an assessment as to which is most appropriate for your work. I'm going to choose this one over here called Lucas, just pretty randomly, and it's going to, the CMS is going to make me a site, and here I am on the main page, I suppose, of my future website. Navigation across the top, some kind of call to action or welcome, and down here is going to be the content of my portfolio. So I'm going to have a thumbnail for each of my pieces of work on the front page of my site, and then when you click into each of those, it's going to go a bit deeper into my portfolio. First thing I'm going to do is start by making an About Me page. So I've got a navigation system up the top here, and I want to add to that with About Me. I've currently got Work, and this is our work page, our home page. I've already got a contact page. The contact page will have a form built into it already, which is fantastic. And I want to add to that an About Me, so I'm going to click on the Add Page button here. And I'm going to add a page. And I'm going to add a default page layout, and I'm going to select destination as navigation because I want to add the page to this navigation up here. And I'm going to create that page. Oh, sorry, I've got to add a name for that page, which is About Me. Now it'll create that page. It should add it to our navigation up here and move us to that page. And it has, which is great. We have a title up the top here, and then we have this interface element that allows us to add content. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to add an image to start with. I've got a bunch of content in here, and one of those bits of content is a picture of me. And I've placed that picture in there, and it's much larger than I expected. So I'm going to click on this little pen element here. So when you hover over elements on your layout, you get this edit button, which is a pen. And I'm going to edit the width and alignment of this image. Drop it right down. That's much better. Maybe make it a max width. There, 200 pixels. I click done. So we've added an image, and now we want to add some text. So to add some further content to a page, we need to hover and find a spot where we can add stuff, and we're able to add stuff in these areas here where there's a plus symbol. So a line strikes through the page, and there's a plus symbol. I'm going to add some text. I'm going to flip over to, sorry, I've got my bio in this tab here. Copy that content, paste it right in there. So that's looking good. I'm building up some content in my About page. The other thing that I want to add is a social media icon. I've got a URL over in this tab over here for my Instagram account. So I'm going to activate that little Instagram button and paste in that URL. Now I've got an active social media button at the bottom of my About page. Down here is a footer, and currently it's got this default powered by Adobe Portfolio. And I'm going to put my own content to the bottom of that page. Put a little copyright symbol. So I'm going to edit that element, and I can change that text to what I want there. There's also some other formatting and customization options there. that'll kind of do me. That'll do me for that section there. I can also, if I hit that little edit button, I can turn on a social media icon. I'll just go back and grab my social media URL. I can add that to the footer and that'll occur on all pages. So I've got a bit of repetition there, but I've added that. That'll be on all pages. It's also up here in the navigation, which is good. So you can create that kind of social network or your online network. Let's go back to the work page and start adding some portfolio pieces. Don't want to read that. I might just, while we're here, make some alterations to the content on the main page. Because I've already declared that this site is mine, thinking that maybe some other text in this section might be more appropriate. And we can add scroll down here, or you can change that. I'm going to change that to nothing, make it a little bit more minimal. And then I'm going to add a page to my portfolio section. So I've clicked on the add page, and the type of page that I want is a default page. The destination this time is, instead of the navigation, it's going to be the work section. So that's going to be in here. It's a subsection of that main navigation. I've got to give it a name, and I'm going to give it the name of my first portfolio piece. I'll click create, and that should take me to that page where I can add some content. So I've got a title at the top. I want to add some text, some annotation, some information about the project. I just need to change that spelling. Should be 2 words. While I'm in here, we can also add a page description, and we can add a date and also some custom fields. This is useful to fill in because we can draw on this information on the front page. I'm not going to do it in this demonstration though. So with blind spot, I want to add a text field, and I'm going to paste that text into my text field. So I've got some information for viewers about the work that I've created, and above that text I'm going to add some more content. And instead of an image, I could use these separate elements to build up a page of content. Videos, I can embed some custom HTML, I can add audio, create buttons, but I'm going to add a photo grid because I've got a series of images that I want to use to present this piece of work. In this folder here is my photography. So I'm uploading all of those images of this piece of work to that photo gallery, which is pretty good. While I'm doing that, we can look at where the settings for your photo gallery are. So we can adjust the width and margins of the grid. We can also edit the grid, edit the arrangement of the elements on the page, or the order of things on the page. And under the edit grid section, which will be live once all of those images have loaded up, we can also add annotation to each of those images. So I'll let that quickly load up. All those images are in place. I could, if I wanted to, as I said, modify the gallery, but I'm just going to leave it as is. I think that's quite good. Selection of photography, some information about the piece. I'm going to go back to my work page and add a second portfolio element. So now you'll see that that project has been added to the front page. I'm going to add another one. Add it to the work section. This project's title. Should be taken to that page where we can add our content. So I've got text, I've got an annotation for another project. So I'm going to add that text to my page, and again, I'm going to add a photo gallery. Different selection of photos for a different portfolio piece. These images are going to load up. Might take a second. So all of those images have now loaded into our portfolio piece. Let's go back to the front page. And we can see that we now have two portfolio pieces on our main page, and those images are just loading into these cover images or cover sections. These are our links to our portfolio pieces. We can do some customization on these, which is good. We can customize the pages themselves. I want to add a bit more gutter. See how that's separating them a little bit. We can change the amount of columns. We can also change the top and the bottom margins if we like. We can add information here like page descriptions and dates. I am going to leave the date and the title on, but you can also bring in your page description or your custom fields. I'm going to turn the cover images on, and this is where we can create an overlay or a hover state to our cover images. And I'm going to I am going to, on the rollover state, can change the cover images to grey. Okay, so when we go to the site, our images will be coloured. When we roll over them, they'll turn grey. I think that's kind of good. Make it a bit darker. Go done, and we'll see that working now. So that's a cool little bit of customization. We can actually customize the images that we see that are brought into the cover image. And I'm going to edit that cover image. We can have a custom rollover if we want, so we could switch images. We can choose images from that page. I'm going to choose something that's a bit stronger. Zoom in. We can move it around to crop it. Do the same for this one. Just try and find something a little bit stronger and more direct. Something like that. Excellent. So that's looking good. So I reckon I'm almost there. I would like to preview the work that I've done. So this gives me an idea of what my work's going to look like when it's deployed into the wild, and I can have a look at kind of different devices. I can preview it on different devices. So this is what my site's going to look like when viewed on a mobile. And back to our wide view. So I am pretty close to being ready, but I will go back to our edit page and just check out a few extra things. I'd like to have a look at the settings, and in the settings tab, this is where we can assign a domain name. We can purchase a domain name, or we can connect a domain name that we have already already own. We just need to change the settings in our domain host if we need to do that, and then add the details into the domain name section here. We can add analytics tracking code if we want to check how many people are looking at our website. We can set which page is our home page. We can add some metadata for search engine optimization. We can also add a favicon and a bunch of other stuff we can do under the settings there. At the moment, I'm not going to assign a domain name or purchase a domain name. I'm just going to change the subdomain name to something that's appropriate to me, so that I'll end up with a URL that is my name.myportfolio.com, and I'll click apply. I've successfully changed that. You can only do that a couple of times, I think. And that's done. I think from here I'm ready to deploy this website, so I'm going to hit publish site. And my site is live. So let's have a look at my site. It's live on the internet at simonrankin.myportfolio.com. And here is the work that I've just done. I put together a website in 17 minutes.